Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating and often provocative mind of Doug Casey.
Yeah, definitely provocative.
We're pulling insights from excerpts of his Contrarian's Guide to Society and Finance,
Right.
and we've got a stack of Q&A sessions here where he really tackles everything. I mean, from philosophical questions about, youth and meaning.
All the way to very practical advice, like how to store your money.
Exactly. How to secure your finances in, well, what feels like a pretty uncertain world.
And what's so interesting, I think, is how he just consistently challenges the conventional wisdom. He draws these connections between things you wouldn't normally link.
Like what?
Well, cultural trends, like why so many people have tattoos now,
Hmm.
um, big geopolitical energy deals, even the fundamental nature of banking and money itself.
Right.
So our mission today really is to dig into his unique perspective and see what maybe surprising connections emerge for you listening.
Yeah, so you're going to hear his thoughts on why maybe, just maybe, a touch of nihilism could actually be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
But also how, total nihilism leaves people kind of adrift without purpose, especially now with this constant flood of information we all get.
He connects that directly, doesn't he? This
Exactly.
exposure to so many conflicting viewpoints today, it's so different from past generations.
Yeah, where beliefs were maybe more uniform.
Exactly. And he ties that into his take on why tattoos are suddenly everywhere. What's that really about, according to Casey?
He links that surge in tattoos to this search for identity, for belonging to a group.
Almost like military culture or motorcycle gangs, he says.
Yeah, viewing them as social signals or, personal advertisements, kind of like fashion choices, maybe nose rings or something, but deeper, part of a bigger search for meaning.
Which really brings up a huge question, doesn't it? How do we as individuals navigate all this? When the old structures are being questioned, and Casey has some, let's say, strong opinions on that, everything from avoiding fiat currency entirely for what he calls start-again money.
What does he like instead? Gold?
Gold coins are his first choice, yeah, for stability. Bitcoin too, but he's very clear about the risks, securing keys, passwords,
Okay.
or other hard assets, things of real enduring value.
And then there's his skepticism, like that huge reported EU-US energy deal under Trump, $750 billion.
Yeah, he was very doubtful about that. He pointed to just the physical and logistical challenges.
But he is bullish on natural gas.
Oh, very. Huge reserves, advantages over other hydrocarbons, though ultimately he thinks nuclear power is the real long-term answer.
Interesting. And banking.
Yeah.
Wow. He believes depositors should actually bear the risk if they choose a badly run bank.
He does. He thinks central banks bail out. They just encourage irresponsibility.
So it's about prudent banking practices, not necessarily who owns the bank. Like nationality doesn't matter.
Not to him, no. He wants a competitive banking environment. Let anyone start a bank, essentially, and let the market decide. It's pure competition and responsibility.
Exactly. So get ready for some, possibly some real aha moments as we unpack Doug Casey's Contrarian Guide. Let's start with that idea of nihilism. He says a touch isn't bad. What's the difference he's drawing?
Well, that distinction is absolutely critical for him. A touch of nihilism, a bit of skepticism, questioning assumptions that can be healthy. It promotes critical thinking.
Okay.
But total nihilism, the belief in, well, nothing, he argues that's deeply destabilizing. It leaves people without purpose, without direction.
And he links that to the modern world.
Directly to this information overload we're all swimming in. We see so many conflicting viewpoints constantly. It's dizzying.
Unlike the past.
Right. Past generations often had more uniform belief systems to anchor them. Casey's point is that countering the harmful total nihilism today means finding guiding principles.
But not necessarily religious ones.
Not necessarily, no. Meaningful, but potentially non-religious. He talks more about this in his book, The Preparation, Finding Your Own Solid Ground.
And it's fascinating how he then connects that search for meaning, or maybe the lack of it, to something like tattoos, which seems so common now.
Especially among women, he notes. He sees that proliferation directly linked to this search for identity, for belonging.
Like the military unit or the biker gang example again.
Exactly. He views tattoos as a clear social signal, a personal advertisement almost, saying this is who I am, this is my tribe.
So it's not just, oh, I like this design.
For him, it goes much deeper. While he sees it's a trend, sure, he consistently brings it back to that broader search for meaning and purpose. It ties back to the nihilism discussion.
How so?
It's like if the big traditional beliefs are shaky, People look for other ways, more visible ways, to declare who they are, where they stand, like other fashion signals maybe, but with more permanence. A visible anchor in a confusing world.
Okay, so from philosophy and culture, he pivots pretty hard into finance. Very practical stuff. This start again money idea, what is that and why avoid fiat currency so strongly?
Start again money is basically that emergency fund you'd need if the financial system really went sideways.
Like total collapse scenario?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Or just needing to completely reset your life.
Yeah.
And he distrusts fiat currency, dollars, euros, yen, because its value relies entirely on government decree and stability.
Which he doesn't trust.
Fundamentally, no. So he advocates for tangible, independent stores of value, things that hold value outside that system.
Like gold.
Gold coins are his #1 choice. Physical gold you can hold for stability.
You mentioned Bitcoin too.
He does consider Bitcoin, yes, but with a very strong warning about the practicalities. Securing your private keys, your passwords. It's not trivial. You lose them.
It's gone.
It's gone. So high potential, but high risk in that sense. Beyond those, he suggests other hard assets. Real estate, maybe certain commodities, anything with enduring intrinsic value.
The goal being
Resilience. Personal resilience. Having accessible resources, real walk-away wealth if you need to start over without relying on a potentially broken financial system.
that focus on fundamentals, on avoiding reliance on centralized systems, that seems to carry through to his views on banking too, right?
Absolutely. It's a core theme.
Like, he was asked if a country loses sovereignty if foreigners own its banks. His answer was basically no.
Right. For him, the nationality of the owners is irrelevant. What matters is prudent banking practice. Is the bank sound? Is it well managed?
Not who holds the shares.
Exactly. He wants a free market in banking. Competition. Let anyone who meets basic criteria start a bank.
And his view on central banks and bailouts.
Very critical. He believes they actively encourage irresponsibility. If banks know they'll be bailed out,
They take more risk.
precisely. Moral hazard, right? His view, which is pretty radical today, is that depositors should bear the risk. If you choose a poorly managed bank and it fails, well, that's part of the risk you took.
Oof, that's tough.
It is. But for Casey, it's about genuine accountability. The market, through informed depositors making choices, should be the regulator, not government intervention after the fact.
And the skepticism of central authority, it doesn't stop at finance. He looks at big international deals the same way, like that EU-US energy deal.
Yeah, the supposed $750 billion deal for the EU to buy U.S. oil and gas under Trump. Casey dismissed it pretty much immediately.
Why? Just politics.
He saw it mainly as political posturing, yes, but his reasoning was grounded in practicality, logistics.
Meaning?
He argued it just wasn't physically feasible, the infrastructure wasn't there, the number of ships needed. Moving that sheer volume of oil and gas across the Atlantic on that scale, he found it highly unrealistic.
But that specific skepticism doesn't mean he's down on energy itself. You said he likes natural gas.
Oh, he's very bullish on natural gas.
Yeah.
He points to the absolutely vast reserves, particularly in the U.S., and its advantages over other fossil fuels. It's cleaner, more efficient for many uses.
And nuclear.
Ultimately, he sees nuclear power as the superior long-term solution, the most efficient, most scalable, lowest emission source, despite its political challenges. So his skepticism is often practical, not just ideological.
Okay, so zooming out, if we try to tie all these threads together,
Yeah.
what's the consistent message from Doug Casey here?
Well, I think if we connect this to the bigger picture, what Doug Casey consistently offers is a really powerful argument for skepticism. Skepticism towards central authority, whether that's government, financial institutions, even cultural dogma.
Right.
And alongside that skepticism, there's a really strong preference for personal responsibility. We saw that in banking, right? Depositor beware.
Yeah.
We saw it in his advice for start-again funds. Take responsibility for securing your own future with tangible assets like gold coins or Bitcoin if you manage the risk or other hard assets. Don't rely on fiat promises.
And it's genuinely interesting how he weaves those big financial and political ideas together with cultural trends, like the tattoos.
Exactly. Tying something seemingly superficial, like tattoos becoming common, seeing them as social signals or searches for identity.
He connects that right back to the deeper societal shifts. His thoughts on nihilism, the information overload, fracturing old certainties.
Yeah, contrasting it with past generations who maybe had more unified beliefs to lean on.
And his solution to damaging nihilism isn't just grabbing another belief system, is it?
No, it's about finding your own principles. Meaningful guiding principles, maybe non-religious ones, but solid ones, like he outlines in the preparation. taking responsibility for your own framework of meaning.
So thinking about all this for the listener,
Hmm.
what's the takeaway?
I think what Casey really does through this contrarian lens is push all of us to think critically, to question the things we just accept.
Hmm.
And maybe this raises a really important question for you listening right now. In a world that is overflowing with conflicting viewpoints, where traditional beliefs and institutions are being questioned more than ever, how do you figure out what your own meaningful guiding principles are? How do you navigate it all?